Live now. I love it. I'm sorry. I didn't know how long it was going to take for the stream to actually activate. Oh my goodness. Oh, people. People. Welcome aboard indeed. How are you all doing? First of all, who are you and how are you? I'll take that. It really is true. Bianca has a way of just making you have to go out on the front lawn to retrieve your wig. I it's not me, it's the powers that be. My name is Jill Bates Moore. I'm the other half of Dahlia Law Group. And how I be is we were actually talking about this before we hopped on the stream. And I am, among other things, I am first grateful. I was describing how I'm doing to another group of professional friends and colleagues earlier today, and I realized after that conversation that the word grateful did not come out of my mouth, even though it thumps hard in my heart. I feel myself growing in really in I don't know if they're unexpected ways or not, but clearly they're necessary ways. And so, just like anybody who has ever led anything, who has ever been through anything, who has ever been doing anything, you know that the things that stretch you ache a little bit, and that's where I am, and it is fascinating and wonderful. So that's how I am. That's the part I want to lift up right now. That's the part that got left out earlier. So, anyhow, well, yay. On today, we are talking about, I think the title of this stream is The Powers That Be and Powers of Attorney. So that is what we're going to talk about. There are always, in the year of our Lord 2020, it seems like there are immigration updates that just get pumped out on the daily. It is not possible in any format, and certainly not this one, to go through all of those updates. But Bianca's gonna hit us with some hot topics, and Alicia and I will talk a little bit about powers of attorney. We are focusing a little bit on the basics of estate planning tools. And so the last time we were together, we talked about advanced healthcare directives. And so we want to follow that up with another personal authorization tool in the form of a power of attorney. And so we'll figure out a way to weave these themes together. We have a really strong feeling that they go together. So, Bianca, what better than like cake and onions, right? 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 Exactly. Not even a little. I don't even want to sample. It's all right. You can pass me by. All right, Bianca, What is happening in the world? Should we even ask? What is happening in the world of immigration law? Hold on. Wait a minute. Yes, I said Wayment. 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 I just heard you say that we went through a bunch of back and forth about whether or not this public charge rule would be followed. Sometimes it would be followed and then sometimes it wouldn't. And so we have gone back and forth multiple times about whether it would be followed and whether it would not. As of February of this year, the public charge rule was followed, which means, in effect, that if you don't have enough money, or if you are potentially going to be on public benefits, or if the US government thinks that you are have a chance of being on public benefits, so basically US taxpayer dollars are supporting you somehow, so you are charging, right, your support to the public, right? Then, or if the government thinks that you will be charging your support to the public, then you can't get a green card. Okay. But then what had happened was, as of what, this week? Okay, as of last week, a federal court in New York said, wait a minute, right? For those of you who are with us and are taking notes, you will know that wait a minute it's a technical term. Write it down. No, but seriously, this federal court in New York has said we are not going to enforce this rule that says that if the US government believes that you are going to be charging your support to the public, this public charge rule, we're not going to enforce that because we believe that it will make people not go to the doctor to get COVID testing, and that's too important to scare people off from doing. And so we want to make sure that that people feel supported and are not afraid to go to the doctor. So, but we don't. So, I guess one question I have. I'm sorry, Alicia. One question I have is that New York federal court ruling, does that apply to everybody across the nation, or is this just a New York thing? Explain to us a little bit how that works. Okay. Oh, what is injunction and what is implement? Child, my mother is watching this, and she might be the only one watching. And while she knows what those words mean, my sister sitting next to her might not. So, so what is injunction and what is implement? Mm-hmm. Okay. Alicia, what were you going to say? I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that Alicia, I'm really glad that you brought up our conversation last time, which was 2 weeks ago. We meet here roughly every 2 weeks, and one of the things that we were really careful about, or tried to be really careful about, um, explaining when we were talking about advanced healthcare directives was, if one, have an advanced healthcare directive. We talked about this. We've been through this, right? I'm looking into the camera directly. Um, but in that advanced healthcare directive, to be clear about whether or not your agent, so the person who is authorized to act for you, with your doctors and with your healthcare decision making, be clear whether or not that person can sign you up for Medicaid. Because that question comes up sometimes when we go to the hospital, or when we might go for unscheduled, particularly unscheduled doctors or health visits, that if there's some question about whether or not I'm able to pay, then there might naturally be paperwork that comes that will ask me to sign up for Medicaid, so that the doctors or the healthcare providers can be paid for their services to me. But what Bianca explained to us in that last Legacy X immigration stream was that signing up for Medicaid might put somebody who is on their immigration journey, it might put them in a bad place, because they may not be able to get a green card because of what this public charge rule. So this we talked 2 weeks ago. And so this ping pong that you all have been talking about, see, I'm about to lose my actual hat. Right? This is really leading edge law. This is up to the moment law. This is happening. It's happening right now. So yeah, and so I'm really glad that we're having this conversation, and that Alicia, that you tied it back to the conversation that we had most recently, because this is an update for people, especially since part of the reason that the courts said that the public charge rule will not be enforced for right now. So those of you who can see the tidbits and the comments that I'm putting in the box, you'll see on your screen right now that in all caps it says, "For right now, the public charge rule will not be enforced." But be careful, because as you can see, these decisions keep changing. They keep changing. And so the advice that we gave about last time, about whether or not your agent can sign you up for Medicaid, I think that advice stands. I actually think that advice is still good advice, even though right at this moment the public charge rule is not being enforced. And Alicia was beginning to start talking about powers of attorney, and I think that there's something to be said about this for a power of attorney as well. For people who don't know what a power of attorney is, Alicia, can you explain that a little bit? Yeah, I think to get what you said was I think spot on. And I think to if I am coming to this live stream and I'm saying I don't know what to do, this keeps changing minute by minute, what should I do? First, we were talking about healthcare directives. What is that? And now we're talking about powers of attorney and making it durable. What is that? Like, what do I need to do? And the first thing I would say is what's on the screen right now. Legacy tip number one: go back to our last live stream with Bianca, where we talked about advanced healthcare directives. We walked through what they are, what you do, how to give instructions, and all of that. So go back and have a look there. Secondly, if you already have an advanced healthcare directive, you're already working on it, you followed our advice and tips from that last session, that you downloaded the form and you got right to work on it. First of all, yes, yay. But then high five, indeed. Make sure that you also followed our advice about noting whether or not your agent, so the person who is speaking for you, the person who is deciding for you, whether they can sign you up for public benefits like Medicaid. Regarding the power of attorney, it is a very similar sort of situation, right? This is you giving the power to somebody else to act on your behalf. And so the bottom line is make sure that they know what they can act for. Is it okay? And also make sure that they know that it's okay to ask you questions about that beforehand, right? So if they're not clear, have that conversation with them and let them know, this is what I mean by this. This is what I mean when I say you cannot sign me up for public benefits like Medicaid. I mean, don't sign me up for public benefits like Medicaid because of this whole public charge rule thing, right? Yeah. Right. That's what it is in the documents. Here's what it is in your life. The documents are definitely a part of your life, and we mean for that to be. It should be. It's right for all of the reasons we've already said. Go to the doctor. If you have reason to believe that you have COVID symptoms, you have been COVID exposed, that you have been caring for somebody who has COVID symptoms or is COVID exposed, if whatever, do not risk your health for any reason. Because the truth is, if there is no you, there is no immigration. That's how it works. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that this also applies this whole ruling that we are not going to enforce the public charge rule for right now. And for those of you who might be just joining us, that means that the U.S. government is not going to tell somebody on their immigration journey that they cannot get a green card because they are basically because they're poor, right? Because they don't have enough money to fund their own insurance or their own support, so they've signed up for public benefits or something like that. The U.S. government is not enforcing that right now. And part of the reason they're not enforcing it is because of this COVID-19 pandemic, where people need to be able to go to the doctor. Now, people always need to be able to go to the doctor, so we can talk about the rationale for that in a separate in a separate session. But for those of you who have been with us the whole time so far, thank you for indulging the repetition. We want to make sure that everybody has access to this information no matter what time they join us on the live stream. So I am aware that we have repeated things a couple of times, and that was on purpose. So thank you for your patience and your indulgence with that. I guess one of the things I'm thinking is, not to put too fine a point on it, but if you don't have COVID symptoms and you have just been holding off on going to the doctor, is now a good time to go? Do we? So the public charge rule is about federal money. Okay. Right. So people, it sounds like when people hear the word charge, they should hear dependent, right? Like this is about people being poor, but the way that the public charge rule is explained is about people being sort of not being able to hold their own, or not being able to depend on themselves exclusively, but that when they come to the United States, they have to depend on United States aid and help and money in order to get themselves set up, right? Or in order for them to live here, and be healthy. Um, well, before you share it, let me ask a question while you're considering whether to press and curl, right? Whether to press and curl my hair today, right? Um, so, given how this public charge rule thing has been enforced sometimes and not enforced sometimes, if someone needs federal benefits, if they need some sort of benefit or money help that comes from the federal government, that would, if we were enforcing the public charge rule, that might put their green card in jeopardy, how, how does a person know whether to go ahead and sign up for that benefit now, since we're not enforcing the public charge rule? And if they should go ahead and sign up for that benefit now, then do they need to do something if the public charge rule is enforced again later? Like, do they need to stop the benefit somehow, or unenroll, or do you understand what I'm asking? Okay. Mm-hmm. Ouch! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. But to have it codified, though, like to have it to have it codified. Oy. Stop. Okay, okay, I'm done. I am done. I'm done. What I hear you saying is that the first of all, I do think this is I think what you said is actually really, really, really important for people to understand. The public chart signing up for public benefits does not necessarily, it does not automatically mean that you won't get a green card. That's the first thing. And so having some good guidance, like with Bianca, who I'm pointing this way because she's her screen is that direction of me. Um, right? Having some good guidance from a qualified and skilled immigration lawyer to help you figure this out is really important. Okay. That's thing one, because just signing up does not necessarily mean that you won't get a green card. And also, super important. So, I don't know if this is number one, also, if we just have a tie for the most important takeaways, get that green card application together. Do it now. Yeah. He said ASAP, truly. Hmm. So, yeah, that seems like the most important one of the most important things because cuz You know what? I think that the things of people's actual individual lives and lived experiences are necessarily political. That's what it is. They may or may not be partisan things, right? Like they may not necessarily be affiliated with a political party, but the things of our actual lives, right? They are political, and so I don't think it's a problem to say that. And I think that telling people that no matter who is in, first of all, no matter who's in the White House, the immigration journey is still a journey that is so rules based, right? Knowing what the rules are at any given time is going to be important, right? It doesn't, no matter who is in the White House, what any administration is doing, knowing what those rules are is really important. So no matter who the president were at the time, whether it's the one that's there now, or or somebody else, this ruling from the federal court about not enforcing the public charge rule is an important thing for you to know about and for you to take action on. So take the first step. File that green card application. Do it. If you are trying to do it on your own, may God, the universe, or whatever you believe in bless you on your journey. If you need, right? If you need help, then contact an immigration lawyer. Contact Bianca. If Bianca is not the best fit for you, get a referral from Bianca for somebody else who might be a good fit, because it is that important. And as far as the legacy things are concerned, you're working, right? The immigration process is not an overnight process, and you are still living your life. You still have to be you. You still have to take care of yourself. You still have to take care of your family every single day while you're on that immigration journey. So do the things. Do the things. Write it down. Do the things. Get that beat. Do the things. Do the things that take care of you and the people who depend on you. So do that advanced healthcare directive. Do that power of attorney. I'm sorry, Bianca, I got a little carried away. What were you going to say? Well, and it's kind of it seems like it's kind of a catch-22. Even if there were a fee waiver available, then proving that you can't pay the fee, you know. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Don't do it. Stop this. Do not overwhelm these people, Bianca. Don't do this. Don't do this. You are gonna have people run it. actually do. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Wherever you land on the political spectrum, whatever political party you belong to, I could not care less. You If you are on this immigration journey, then this is important to you. And if you are human, and you value yourself and the people who love you and the people who are depending on you, then giving them some guidance about how to care for you when and how to care for your things, your affairs, your life. This is your life we're talking about. If you can't make those decisions for yourselves, or if you can't do things for yourselves, those that it's important. It doesn't it who needs this legacy and estate planning information, Alicia? That's her favorite word. It's her favorite word. That's why I said, who needs it? No, seriously, thank you. Thank you very much, Bianca, for being with us again and for sharing this really, really timely, up to date information and giving people these really key takeaways. One, no public charge rule right now, which means go to the doctor. Do not be afraid of going to the doctor, getting whatever health or other benefits that you might need for right now. Do that now, okay? Because the public charge rule that would make it a problem for you to get your green card is not being enforced right now. That is thing one. Thing two, apply for that green card. That needs to happen. The fees are going up. There are changes to the immigration rules. It seems like every other week, some weeks every other day. So just get that done. Exactly. And also take care of your legacy and estate planning basics. Do the things that are going to help you in your everyday life. So make sure you at the very least have that advanced healthcare directive and you have that durable power of attorney. Those are the takeaways for today. I really appreciate both of your time. If there's anything else that I missed that you wanted to add, please go ahead and add that. Anybody who has any questions out there who's watching, please don't be shy about asking those questions. And if you can't think of questions right now, we will tell you in a moment where to find us so that you can follow up with those questions. But first, was there anything else to add, ladies? Absolutely. I'm putting Bianca's website in the comments box for your immigration law questions, brazenlegal.com. And Alicia, was there anything more that you wanted to add? It is good news. Hilarious. Right. Yep. Like, I mean, you said people wait to find out what's going to happen in the future. Well, one thing we know is going to happen in the future is that the fees are going up. So, so let that guide you. Thank you both for your time this evening. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who is watching for your time this evening. I really hope that, on behalf of the three of us, I really hope that this information is useful to you. If it is not useful to you, tell us. If it is useful to you, tell every single person you know. Every one of us knows somebody or is within a couple of degrees of separation from somebody who is on their immigration journey. And sometimes the things that you know may be things that they don't know. So please do share this information widely and freely. It was free to you, so make it free to them, please, and thank you. And I'm sure every single one of us knows somebody who needs legacy and estate planning tools, because who needs them, Alicia? You can tell we're a little punchy tonight, but I appreciate you being with us. Thank you both. Good night, everybody.